Over 6 million people over the age of 18 are stalked each year. Hello, thanks for joining us. You're watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm your host, Autumn Marisa. Joining me this hour is Lynne Feldman. She's the Special Project Coordinator for the Network of Victim Assistance. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we're talking about National Stalking Awareness Month, which is in January, but just stalking in general. Can you give us a definition of what stalking is?
Sure. Stalking is a pattern of behavior that would cause anyone to feel in fear of their bodily harm. And a course of behavior could be anything from unwanted contact, via text messaging, emails, any type of contact, whether it's personal contact or through internet sites, any type of contact that is unwanted.
And if that's happening, what should a person do?
If that's happening and someone feels that they're in immediate danger, they need to call 911. If they're not in immediate danger, they can certainly call NOVA's hotline and ask to speak to someone there. We have advocates who will help safety plan, help talk through a situation with a victim, and also we have counselors who work to provide emotional support for those victims.
Now, you had mentioned to me earlier that people often do not report it to police. Why is that?
I think often people don't report it because they think that many of the activities that a stalker would do don't seem to be terribly criminal at that point. If you get a couple unwanted text messages or someone phones you and leaves some messages that you don't like, people usually think, I'm just going to ignore it, or I'll just tell them to stop. But if it continues to happen, then it escalates into being stalking. And so I think most people don't think that there's help out there, and for that reason they don't report it.
Let's talk a little bit about social media and the awareness of stalking behaviors because of the new media that we're introduced to in this day and age.
Sure. With all of the advances in technology, it makes it really easy for someone to try to contact an individual and keep their own personality hidden. So they can do this anonymously. They can send a text message from a bogus email address. They can leave a message without having it show who's leaving the message. So it makes it extremely difficult. If someone is receiving text messages or emails or even postings on a social networking site, I encourage them to use a screen save method and save those so that they have that as evidence to show what's happening.
That leads me to some of the challenges to police and victims in holding stalkers accountable. It's hard to find evidence sometimes for this.
It is. And I think one of the stumbling blocks is that if you're the victim of stalking, often you are responding back to that offender. And sometimes police look at this and say, well, you keep communicating with this person. So I really strongly advise, if you are being stalked, to not continue the conversations with them, to just keep documentation of what is happening to you, what you're receiving, and try to save that documentation. That's where someone from NOVA can help you figure out, how do you save that documentation and when do you take it to the police?
That's great. Now that leads me to the next part. How can victims get help? You touched upon it a little bit, but just let us know who is there to help them.
Well, if you or someone you know or someone you think is being stalked, please encourage them to contact police, contact NOVA, so that they can get the assistance that they need.
Great, thank you. This hour's Newsmaker has been Lynne Feldman, Special Projects Coordinator for Network of Victim Assistance. I'm Autumn Marisa. Thanks for watching Newsmakers. We'll see you next time.